This is an uncensored podcast about sex, sexuality, gender, and body stuff. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the person or persons sharing them. Some names have been changed to protect the anonymity of its participants.
Hello, my friends. It is I, Drew Michael, and this is Make Sex With Me, a podcast where we do what the fuck we want. We do whatever the fuck we want. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the people that are all of the things and none of the things and some of the things. I am sick again. For the second time of 2024, I am sick again, and I am sick of it. This time, though, it's, I don't know. I think I'm meant to be, like, like getting over the fear of being sick, because I really did kind of develop a fear of being sick, and not just, like, because of COVID, but because of just how unpleasant it's been in the past to be sick. But you know what? As unpleasant as it wasn't really that traumatizing if you think about it. Like, being sick sucks, but it's not, like, really that traumatizing unless you really let it get out of hand, which I do a lot of the time because of my issues with anxiety and depression and whatever. I let things get a little bit out of hand. And no more. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to make the choice to just be less of a big fucking baby when I get sick. And so here we are. This is a Quickisode, again, because we have not a lot of time lately for more deep, for more in-depth episodes. We have some really good stuff we're working on, but I've not had time to edit. I have not had time to really do the work I want to do. I'm very interested in doing some episodes that are scripted. Actually, I was going to talk about something today, and I started researching it just a little bit, like I would normally do, and I was like, wait a minute, this involves people, this involves victims, this involves all sorts of stuff that I need to really look into before I just go blah, blah, blah about it. So we're not doing that episode today. It would have taken me more time than I had anyway, and I would have half-assed it, and I would have been upset about it. And I don't want to do that anymore because I'm almost 40, so I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. And there's that. So we're going to do a Quickisode. Blah, 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 blah. But not until I tell you the news, which is that we were oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die. We were voted, and let me look this up because I had it on my phone and I don't know where the fuck my phone is. We were voted number 8 out of the 50 most vulgar podcasts on the internet. And that is according to feedspot.com vulgar podcasts. blog.feedspot.com vulgar podcasts. So I don't know if that's like a real thing. If you click on this link here, you get podcast.feedspot.com. And the guy who emailed me, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but there's other ones here One of them is an adult comedy podcast for freaks. One of them says it's basically just a more vulgar version of Statler and Waldorf. I don't know what the fuck that means. A podcast with Ricky DePrince plus Pierre Benassy and Chris, aka the Vegan Trap Lord. All right, that sounds good. That podcast, I should probably tell you what it's called. It's the NWO podcast. The other two were The Right Side. Wait, no, it's not. What does that say? TRSI and Distorted View Daily. So there's a couple. They all look very nerdy. One of them has animations of the hosts, and it almost looks like they were drawn by whoever draws The Simpsons. So that's kind of cute. And then there's my podcast. And we were number 8, but now we're number 7. I don't know what happened. And it says this is judged by a panelist of people. That's what the email said. I don't know who the panelist is. I'm assuming that people are voting online. Anyway, I'll take it. I don't personally think that our episode or our show is vulgar. I think we just talk about sex, but I guess we get a little bit vulgar sometimes. Vulgar's usually a bad thing, but I mean, no news is good news? No, that's not true in my experience. Bad news, any news is good news, right? You need people to be talking about your shit. I don't need to get canceled for some weird shit, but you need people talking. You need some controversy, even if it's some weird, strange corner of the internet saying that you're vulgar. I know some part of me, some old Dutch archduchess living in the back of my head is like, vulgar? I've never been vulgar in my life. Anyway, so let's be a little bit vulgar now. We have a couple sexy Reddit write-ins to share with you guys, and I'm going to shift my laptop in front of me so I don't have to talk out of the side of my mouth like a fucking ventriloquist. All right. So our first one today, by the way, can you please review, rate, subscribe, 5 stars? That'd be great. Email us sexy questions. Email me some sexy questions or stories that I could read so I don't have to read people's off of Reddit. Thanks. Okay, here we go. This is on Ask Reddit. There's the question posed was, have you ever had 10 out of 10 sex? If so, what was it like? And this guy wrote in, his name is Throwaway, and then a bunch of numbers. All right. Throwaway, because this happened about 2 months before I met the wife. All right. In my mid-20s, I had a coworker who was in an abusive relationship who I had helped to get an actual therapist. I gave her tons of financial advice and just helped pave the way for her so she would have... This person writes kind of bad, so I have to change... I have to make it a sentence while I'm saying it. I just helped pave the way for her so she would have the means to eventually escape her abuser. Over time, I realized I had 150% caught feelings for her, but I knew that was the last thing she needed and just couldn't bring myself to stoop that low, as I felt I would have been totally taking advantage of her. So I just ignored my feelings and continued to be the friend and support she needed. After working with her for about 2 years, she was still with her abuser, but she was doing way better, and she had found a better paying job with more hours, so she quit and moved onto greener pastures that would get her on her feet sooner. And as I didn't see her at work anymore, we fell out of touch, as he, the abuser, would monitor her phone 24/7. Fast forward another year, all of a sudden I get a call from her asking if I was busy and she could come hang out and celebrate finally escaping her now ex-boyfriend. Ex-abuser, it says. I said, sure. She came over that night. We smoked, caught up on life, watched a movie. And the next thing I knew, she had her tongue down my throat and my junk in her hands. And there just isn't words for it. It was pure chemistry. Every touch was electric. It was the wettest, wildest, roughest, most passionate, no limit sex I've ever had. And it literally lasted from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. We would go until one of us had to tap out from being overstimulated. We'd take a break, cuddle, talk, smoke another bowl, etc. And it was right back, and it was right back at it. That's what they were. It was completely surreal, and the next night I asked if she was free, and she was. We ended up having repeats of that night 3 to 5 times a week for about a month and a half. That's a lot. I'm sure they needed sleep after that month. There just isn't enough words to describe the feeling of it all. Like I said, it was just pure chemistry. But like all good things, it came to an end. She realized she still had feelings for her ex-abuser, and she still had a lot of work to work through with her therapist before she was ready for an actual relationship, and she ghosted me. I ended up moving on, and it turns out shortly after that, I met the woman of my dreams. That's now my wife. And while I vividly remember every moment from those nights, I've never once answered one of her calls since. Okay, so she's called you. That's interesting. And now you're writing about it. I guess that's a good way to get that out and off your chest. Um, so, yeah, that's interesting. I don't remember why I chose this one, but I did. Um, it's really cool when you meet somebody where, like, the sex is just, like, really good. Um, I wonder. I had the thought while reading this that like maybe that that woman had really good sex with her ex boyfriend. Um, Sometimes I know this is weird sounding, but there's things about relationships that are so good that it makes it difficult for us when something really really bad is happening in the relationship, because like you're like, oh, but well, first of all, he hit me, but he's really sorry he did it, and then like, and also like our sex is just really good. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm never gonna say that a person like asks to be abused, but there is a lot that comes with abuse. Even to where like a person feels at some level that they deserve the abuse they're receiving, and that can make it really hard to disentangle that as well. And the sex can be caught up in that. It sounds like the sex was wild, and um, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons that the sex could have been wild. Maybe it was pure chemistry. Maybe she's just like a wild lay, you know? Like, I think I'm kind of a wild lay. Like, I'm pretty good no matter who I'm with. Even if the person I'm with isn't very good, I always like pride myself on just being like a pretty amazing lay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm happy that she. The first time I read this, I thought she went back to her ex-boyfriend, and I was like really upset about that because I was like, oh shit, like really? But I guess it just said that she realized she wasn't over him. I don't know if that means she went back to him or she just was like, I'm not ready for something else. Um, uh, I don't love it when people ghost people, like if they have some like form of relationship built up already. That's kind of shitty. I mean, maybe she just like didn't know how to tell him, but still, like people need to tell people things. I'm okay ghosting somebody after like if you have had sex once, you don't have to call me. It's fine, I understand. But if you guys were having sex 3 to 5 times a week for a month and then she just disappeared, that would be kind of traumatic. So anyway, yeah. Also, I think that's a lot of sex. Um, that's definitely a reactive place to be in if you're having that much sex with this new person. directly out of a relationship, I mean, that's like you're in a state of reaction to something that just happened. It seems like that's a lot. That's a lot. I've never wanted to have that much sex ever. I literally could have sex once a month and be fine. Now once every 10 years, like it's been that's not what I'm needing. I'm needing more frequent sex, please. But 3 to 5 times a week for hours at a time for an entire month? That's like a fucking job. That's like at least a part-time job. Oh my god. When are you sleeping? Honestly. Okay. Enough of that. Thank you for letting me read that. You had no idea I read it. Cool. The next one is called Sex with Older Women. And this is written in by someone on Sex Over 40 on Reddit. I think the writer's name is EarthCore0. So it says, I am 40 male. I have a fantasy to have sex with an older woman, more specifically 50 plus. I get worked up just thinking about it. Should I pursue it? Why and why not? Also, not sure about how to find someone who might be interested in me with this age difference. Recently became single, not sure where to start. All right, so I didn't feel like they gave me enough information, so I was like reading the people that wrote in. Somebody named No Saraz wrote in, "You're 40, so it barely even counts. Just go for it. You shouldn't even need kink-focused dating sites. Just specify your age range on regular dating sites. It is only a 10-year difference. It doesn't seem like you're really wanting to date older women. It's 10 years. That's very common for a man to be 10 years older than a woman. It's not that big of a deal if a woman's 10 years older than a man. This person named Kinklandia, love it, said, I am soon a 49-year-old female and sometimes have sex with people half my age. They approach me. This is easy to find for you. Tinder, FetLife, etc. I need to get into FetLife, maybe. I'm not sure about that. Oh, this person wrote in and said some really cool shit. Not underscore without underscore my underscore cat. Not without my cat. This sounds like an older woman. All right. They wrote, older why? You don't necessarily know their age if you're trying to pick them up in public. What is it about an older woman that you find appealing? You want someone who looks older because it's a kink and a turn on? You want someone who has more sexual experience so that you can engage in a wider variety of activities? You want someone more dominant so you can be worshipped or don't have to do as much work? You want someone with more life experience so that you have interesting things to talk about? You want someone with greater emotional intelligence so that they can communicate their needs to you more effectively? Figure that out and look for that. Then ask yourself what you have to offer and advertise it, online or by word of mouth. That's great advice. Holy shit. I love that that person broke down like all these things that might be appealing about older quote unquote women. I think that's wonderful. That's another reason why I think that person is an older woman. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, there is another person. Dr. French Kiss comments, as a young man in my 20s, I had several older women as lovers. All of these relationships were sexual, so that was convenient. The sex was usually very good, and I learned a lot from them. I found my lovers at family gatherings like weddings, office parties, on the job, and even met one at a gala ball. Others I met while on vacation. 2 are my next door neighbors. Just look around in your work environment and social circles. There are a lot of willing older women out there. Wow, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to click on Dr. French Kiss's picture. Who are you? Polyamorous polymath, Dr. French Kiss. Hey boo, what's up? What's up? I don't know how to like read about a person on Reddit that's posting. It's so funny I use Reddit and have no idea how to use Reddit. It's great. So, I have to go pick up a prescription for steroids. Oral steroids, not the kind that we use to be stronger. Just the kind we use to be less inflamed for our cold. Okay. So, let me see, what do I think about this? I think I've kind of already said a few things I think about it. I don't think 50 is that much older. Like, if you were like 40 and you were like, I am interested in dating 80-year-old women, I think that would be more. That sounds like more like what I thought you were asking. But no, 50-year-old women, that sounds just about right. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know. I think that what we usually see is old men dating young girls. Or not young girls. That's terrible. We shouldn't see that. That's illegal. Old men dating young women. Um, and for some reason that just like works. I'm not sure why that works. I don't think it works in the long term. Um, but like, it sounds like this person's just really looking for sexy time. It's not really looking for um anything relationship wise, but maybe he is. But I think, yeah, I think just slightly adjust your settings on your wherever you're looking for dates, and it shouldn't be hard to find women that are 10 years 20 years older than you. um, you might just have set your filters too low. How about them apples? So yeah. And I think there's some point when like women get like really horny. I'm not sure what point that is. I don't know. I think there's a couple different points. I think sometimes pregnant women get horny. There might be a time when some women get horny during like perimenopause or menopause, or I don't know, postmenopause. I'm not sure. Maybe do some research. What ages do women get really horny? And certainly that's a generalization. So, you know, maybe just look for women who are really horny. All right, our last one today is written in under the subreddit sex workers, which I got really excited when I found, because I was like, I want to read about sex workers. But the one I found to read is actually about a client of sex workers. And I also like that he writes in and says that he calls them actually providers, which is really cool. And then I have to do a little bit of research here. And we'll do that as we go along. Okay, so Prudent Persimmon 49. Oh dear, that's really good. I almost fell for a gift card scam today. Let me tell you how. And he's a client. I've been seeing providers for a long time. I'm in my 50s and I started in my 20s. Most of them I have a fantastic time. Most FSSWs are absolutely fantastic, and I'm grateful for what you do. Now, what is an FSSW? Let's Google it together, because I know you're wondering. And some of you are like, I fucking know, move on. What does FSSW stand for? Full service sex worker. Oh, hey girl. Okay. That's cool. Most full service sex workers are absolutely fantastic, and I'm grateful for what you do. However, recently I moved to a smaller city. I've only found one provider I liked, and she hasn't been available. Today in the local listings page, there was a new listing for an older MILF, mom I'd like to fuck, right? Provider that I thought was legitimate. Hey, I love MILFs. That sounds perfect. So I texted and set up an appointment. She was staying in a really nice hotel. Wow, most providers don't usually stay in that hotel. It's a nice hotel. Red flag number 1, according to this guy. As I got nearby, she texted me that she was staying with a roommate who unexpectedly had a date, so she was going to need another room, and she had to use her credit card, but there was a problem. Could I purchase a I thought it was monkey pack? Can I purchase a money pack card, not a prepaid Visa, to help her transfer the money to her credit card? She'd give me a discount. She actually called me and sounded legit. Gee, she sounds nice. Gee, she sounds nice. This guy's like inserting his like internal thoughts, and it's really funny. Gee, she sounds nice. I'm surprised she didn't offer me a doubles rate with her roommate. She was very specific on the type of card, but she knew that she knew what she was talking about. She even sent me a picture of the card, and I could get it at the CVS down the street. Red flag number 2. Yeah. Honestly, the minute anyone says anything about a card, like needing my card over the phone or like needing me to buy a card to put money on, I'm sorry, that's always a scam. So I feel bad for this guy, but he kind of explains himself a little bit. So I got the card, paid with cash, $5.95 fee, not a big deal. So that's non-refundable. Everything else, I guess, can be refunded. Gee, this card is refundable as long as I don't use it. I drove over to the hotel. I called her again. She told me she was going to come down in a black skirt, and a conservative blouse. And to act cool when she got down there, she asked me to read off the number of the card. Hey, that sounds smart. Red flag number 3. I told her I'd give her the card when I saw her. She told me that she didn't want to come down and up twice. I repeated that I'd give her the card when I saw her. Nope, she wanted me to read off the number on the unrefundable card. Red flag, red flag, red flag, awooga, awooga. Finally, it sunk in. I was really being scammed. I hung up the phone and blocked the number and drove away. After about 40 minutes with the stupid MoneyPack site, I got my money back other than the $5.95 fee. I was an idiot. I'm used to the obvious scams on US websites and ads having broken English or say 24/7 or list specific acts. They all do anal, BBBJ. I don't know what BBBJ is. Let's look that up. I want to say blonde bombshell blowjob. What does BBBJ mean? Bareback blowjob. Oh, wow. Okay, that sounds like you're getting your money's worth. And GFE. They all do anal, bareback blowjob, and GFE. What does GFE mean? See, we're learning, you guys. What does GFE mean? Girlfriend experience. Oh, well, no wonder I don't fucking know what that means. Who gives a shit? Oh no, I lost our page. Okay, good. These scammers sound like fun. So that's stuff he's used to seeing on like sites that are very scammery. The phone numbers never trace back to a review or appearance in other sites. This one didn't either, but my fraud radar never went off. The use of a woman without an accent made me think I was seeing someone legitimate. I also think the fact that she asked for money pack, not gift card, somehow made me think it was legit. So go ahead and mock me. Today I almost let the little head outthink the big head, but I don't want anyone else to get scammed, so I've described what happened so that others won't make my mistake. I'm lucky I only lost $6 in an hour's time. I know it could have been worse. And also, let me make it clear, I don't think it was a sex worker scamming me. I don't want to put down sex workers in any way with this write-up. Unfortunately, scammers have figured out that guys looking for full-service sex workers are vulnerable to these sort of scams. It's a shame. It makes this setup worse for all of us. Also, to avoid violating the rules of the sub, I'm not putting any details about the ad in here. So I wanted to read that because it's an interesting take on a situation, because even people who like can get behind sex workers being sex workers might not be able to get by their Johns, like their clients needing their services. And what's so funny about that is that like we can't support sex workers and not support their clientele, right? Like there's a business here. They can't be sex workers without their clients. And I think if we shine a light on sex work, the business, and the kinds of people that require those services for whatever reason, I think it makes it something we can regulate in a safer way and make it good for sex workers and their clients all around. Obviously, when we leave it in the dark, like there's this huge vulnerability there for sex workers especially, and some clients too, where people can get really hurt. Like this is a financial crime here, which is, maybe you'd say not as bad as like being physically harmed, but it does make you feel really, really bad when you're taken advantage of in any way. And this person didn't really say why he seeks out the services of sex workers, but I think it's like it must be a reason that, is important to him. So, and it sounds like he's very respectful of sex workers. It sounded like, but also doesn't want fellow customers getting scammed by things like this. And I know exactly what he means when you're letting the little head think for the big head. It's like you get so horny and you're like, oh, this sounds like a scam, but like, oh, I'm just so horny and they have exactly what I want right now. It's hard. It's really hard. I actually thought I was a sex addict for like a hot minute in New York because I was like spending so much money on sexy things and like not even being able to pay my bills. It was bad. But I recognized that I was getting a certain amount of pleasure out of those experiences and those, whatever they were, whether it was with a sex worker or with, just something online sex worker or something else online. It made me feel good, and I wasn't feeling good without it. So that, I don't know, whenever you find something that makes you feel good and it costs you a lot of money, you kind of have to be like, okay, well, is there something else that could make me feel good that's cheaper? Or can I just like find a way to live my life in a way that where I just like generally feel better? I don't have to like seek out things that put me in harm's way, or maybe I just find a way to be able to afford the things that make me feel good. I mean, you got to figure it out for you. I'm not going to sit here and say like there's one way to do that, but I don't know. I guess I like an underdog, and I really like reading stories from the perspective of somebody who like maybe we would not value. I know a lot of straight men would read this and be like, "Oh, good, like it's good stuff here. I know now not to let these whores, like scam me like this, fucking bitches." I don't know. So like, there's plenty of people that would read this and be like, totally like, this was informative. But I'm reading it for another reason, which is to be like, nobody I know would care to read this story. But I see this person as a person, despite the fact that he's a heterosexual male. Yeah, I see it. It helps me. It helps me to have understanding for people that are nothing like me. It helps me. And I now know what a bareback blowjob, how that's abbreviated, and a full service sex worker, and a girlfriend experience. I actually already know about all those things. I just didn't know we were abbreviating them in a way that I didn't know what money pack was. I thought it was called monkey pock. I kept reading it monkey pock earlier, and that was wrong. So anyway, well, thank you guys so much for listening to this little Quickisode. Expect really good things for future weeks. I have my comedy show coming up. It is a week from Saturday, so it's in like literally like, I don't know what that means, 9 days or something. And I've been planning it for the last couple months, putting a lot of time and effort into that. We're gonna have ice cream. We're gonna have some yummy like street food in a food truck. We've got funny comedians. I finally found a lesbian to be on my fucking stage. I was like, I can't find queer people anywhere in this fucking town to do comedy for me, and I was gonna have to find one that was like far, far away and like find a way to get them here. But fortunately, everything kind of fell into place. So we literally have like 6 comedians, not including me. Let's see, what is Yep, we have like seven comics coming for this, including myself. And I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really fun. I think that people are going to enjoy themselves. I just need to sell more fucking tickets. If anybody wants to buy tickets to this and you live in South Carolina near, let's just say, Georgetown, it's called the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Show. Laugh Out Loud Comedy for a Cause. And it is, tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. So check it out. And after that, I'm going to have a lot more time for podcasting. And I'm very excited about that because I love podcasting. It's my favorite. You guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting through allergy season. I hope you're not as sick as me. I hope I'm not sick for long. And I hope you're filling all of your holes with medication and also whatever makes you happy. Bye-bye.